morning, welcome back to Living on a UK State Pension. My name's Tanya, I'm 68 years old, and for this next year I'm going to be living on my state pension and saving my civil service pension to put back money into my savings account that I was using willy-nilly and for renovating my property, but also for buying furniture, etc. It's got to go back for the future. So this is the quest for the next year. Bearing that in mind, I knew I wanted to go to Lidl this morning and it wasn't going to open till 10 o'clock. So I thought, right, let's make use of the hour before I have to go to Lidl to pick up my clogs and clean my car, which was absolutely filthy. So I quickly got a couple of buckets of hot water with my wash and wax in it, threw it over the car. I have to have little step ladders to get to the top of my car, being 5 foot tall. And yeah, it was all done within 40 works for a car parts delivery place. And she gave me a roll of these last week when we met up. And they're a microfiber cloth. I haven't looked them up to see whether they're bad for the environment or whatever yet. But they've almost got like a rubbery feel to them. And they're really good. I have shampooed your car and rinsed it. They are brilliant for getting excess water off. Absolutely brilliant. Got no idea of price because it would have been cheeky for me to have asked as it was a present. But yeah, so far so good. So Thursday I headed over to Clacton to have my mammogram, which all went fine, waiting for the results on that. It will be my last one until I request one, apparently. No more every 3 years unless I request it now. So I went into Marks and Spencer's outlet shop because that's where my previous swimming costumes have come from, because that was my mission, to get a new costume. And yeah, disappointing. Yes, they did have some, but more so the sort of costume that you would lay on the beach with rather than be jumping up and down in a swimming pool with. So I ended up going to Tesco's and buying this, because not only has it got a nice high front to it, you've also got a relatively high back to it. Nice thick straps, won't cut in when you're jumping up and down. Things cutting in when you're, jumping up and down is no fun. So thin straps are out, thicker straps are in, and yeah, I have tried it on over my clothes and it was fine. Let me get the tag out, where are you? Wrong side, £19.50. There we are. I was pleasantly surprised because I hadn't even seen the notice that said it was 25% off that day. So, or for how many days. So it actually came out at £14.62. So I admit, when I was in Marks and Spencer's, I picked up this jumper and I thought that's really nice for spring, with some nice black trousers that I've got and maybe my black gilet and some black beads, to dress it up a little bit when you go out. I do like a V-neck. I think it's very flattering to see a little bit of skin, not too much, but a little bit. And that should have been, £22.50, but it was £14.50, but I paid £13.50. because I had £1 credit on my account. I sent back a pair of jeans last October. So I got a voucher for my birthday and I bought a pair of jeans and they weren't very nice. So I sent them back, and the woman says she doesn't know why they did it. They put the £25 into my bank account and put a £1 gift card voucher into my email box, which I saved, and it didn't make any sense, but yes, she found it for me. I knew I'd got the email, like it was attached to the email, so there we are. £14.50 with a £1 gift card off, which left me to pay £13.50. So I am already, let me see, I've spent nearly £30 on clothes so far this month. My costume and my jumper. So my thinking is that I may buy another costume and look out for a pair of sandals, because I like to buy in advance. I bought my clogs, £7.99 clogs in Lidl. I went there at 10 this morning and got my clogs and a couple of other things which I'll come to in a minute. You know, size 4. Now I'm a 4.5 in a clog shoe. I've got very thin feet. I carry no fat on my hands or my feet, I'm afraid. My ring size is a G. I've got very, very small hands and thin feet, unfortunately. It does make getting shoes difficult, and Clark's is one of the only shoes that I know I can put on and they are going to fit me, in particular sandals, which tend to be wide on me. So I'm going to be looking at the Clark's outlet store to see if there's anything on there that takes my fancy, ready for summer, and also maybe even look on Vinted to see if there's something. I shop clothes, and we will be coming on to this maybe next week, but I might film it this week if I've got time. How I shop out of season to make clothing cheaper. For me, anyway. I just find that if I shop now, when the shops are getting rid of winter stuff, and I can put stuff to one side, because I'm not a dedicated follower of fashion, so it doesn't matter to me. And some things can look classic, things with stripes and that, doesn't matter, they don't age. So that's how I conquer buying clothes when I'm on a strict regime like this. But I'll come to that, and I'll show you what goodies I've bought from charity shops as well. You know, I'm not adverse to walking into a charity shop and having a look to see what they've got, because there's all sorts in the shops now, all sorts. It's worth going through the rail and having a look. I didn't film the salmon or the chicken that I bought in Marks and Spencer's in the following grocery shop that I've put together that's tagged onto this, but I will. I've bagged them up for the freezer, and you'll see a clip with it all being bagged up to go in the freezer. I ended up buying a £7.99 piece of salmon from Lidl, because it was the same weight in Marks and Spencer's was £11.35, and I just thought that's ridiculous. I couldn't bring myself, even with my vouchers, I couldn't bring myself to pay that. So I walked over the road and bought it from Lidl for exactly the same weight, £7.99 instead of £11.35. And it was 500 grams, and I've cut it into 5. I did debate whether to cut it into 4, but I ended up cutting it into 5. But my mission over the next few months is to try and get as much maybe yellow sticker or on offer sea bass and salmon as I can to build my stores up in my freezer. Anyway, I think the vlog that's gone out today is about how to start building up your stores in your freezer by batch cooking, because it's important. It's a little money chest for you that, you know, if you need to suddenly pay a bill, you can use some of your food money to pay that bill and know you can still eat. You know, you're not going to go without. You've got those reserves in your freezer, in your chest freezer. It is a little treasure chest. It is what I call my ATM, my automated teller of meals, basically. Anyway, there we are. Next you'll see the shops that I did, the grocery shops, because they're all bitty, not a lot to them at all, and what I've got left to spend. I meant to say that I've just clicked on the button about payment, because I still hadn't heard anything, and I'm still getting used to the payment screen on YouTube. But my first payment has been paid, although I haven't had it in my bank account yet. But that doesn't mean anything's wrong, because they've said it can take up to the 26th of the month to get into my bank account. And my first payment from YouTube was £469.59. And that's because it's only the part month from when I was monetised on the 15th of January to the end of the month. So I will be donating, I'll round it up to 100. I'll round it up to 100 rather than the 15%, which will only be, you know, £70. But I'll put £100 to one side for a either a good cause, or when I can, you know, personally dish out money. I'm waiting for some contacts to come back to me about local meal clubs for the elderly. And if not, this month, till I get the contacts in place, I will go down and buy stuff for the food bank and show you the receipts for it. So thank you all very much for continuing to watch me, because it is going to make a difference. It makes a difference to me, it makes a difference to everybody involved, and it's going to make a difference to a lot of other people as well. So thank you. Please like, please subscribe. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe. It's really a misnomer that YouTube have used the word subscribe, because it automatically makes people think they've got to pay. And you do not have to pay on YouTube. You literally just agree that you want to be part of the group, and, you know, and ring the bell. Do the bell as well if you want to know every time a new video is uploaded. But thank you once again, and as I always say, you are helping me as much as I'm helping you, so thank you. And now we're going to be helping others too. Bye bye. Right, as I've said, it's teeny tiny. I needed the lemon for both the fish cake and the pate that I made out of the mackerel, which has been in my freezer since November. But with the cream cheese now, all the cream cheese is gone. I made 3 meals out of what was left of the cream cheese. So I'm glad there was no waste there. While I was in Asda, when I walked round to pick this up from the baking section, hey ho, they had peach slices, which they haven't had for at least 10 weeks. And I know I got some in my last shop, but these are cheaper by 5p each. And I thought I might as well pick them up, because I'm not going to need a lot of food this month. the way things are going. And I've still got £26.99 on my Asda Christmas card. So the peaches were 2 for 34p each. The lemon was down to 73p from 95. Now, has Pancake Tuesday gone, or is it coming up? I must look it up. I think that's why the lemon was on offer. The Jif lemon was on offer. And I decided on the crackers at £1.10 because I thought it'd make a nice change from bread with the pate. So the sum total came to £2.51, and as I've said, I've got £26, lift you up, sorry, £26.99 left on the balance. I popped into Lidl for my clogs. £7.99, size 4 for me. They're just right, I have to say. A 5 was huge on me. This is the Lidl shop, and it came to £8.78 because I bought 79p's worth of baby potatoes. I've still got potatoes in the garage, but I thought these would go nice with when I have a piece of salmon or just roasted in the air fryer. Just leave the skins on for extra fibre and put them in the air fryer. I shall remove them out of the plastic shortly and put the majority of them outside in the garage where it's cold and dark. And my 2 free spin the wheel freebies, which again will go in the freezer. That's a cookie, and that's a filled muffin in there. I froze 2 of the ones I won last week. They were both like croissant based ones, and I got one out on Saturday. There's a blog going up with it in, and I put it in my air fryer for 2 minutes either side because I did turn it over for 185 from frozen, and it was just like it had come out of the oven. It was absolutely beautiful. It was, I believe it was their almond paste filled croissant that I won. And I've still got the double chocolate one out there, and these 2 will go out and join them. Because I've had my treat for the weekend. I had the croissant yesterday. So yeah, I shall space them out a little bit. As I say, it came to £8.78. Now, £7.99 of that is going to come out of my spending money. I'll show you the book in a moment, what I've done, and add everything up. But I'll move that across, and I popped into Morrison's. I don't use Morrison's very often, but do you know what? I've looked numerous times in Lidl for denture tablets. As I said to you a little while ago, I've got a 2-tooth denture at the back of my mouth. And yeah, I remove it of a night time and soak it as you do dentures. So I normally break these in half because the denture is tiny, so it doesn't need a full one. But I was getting low, so I decided to top up my denture tablets, and they were 89p. And the wonky peppers were £1, down to £1. So I'm going to take them out of there, wash them, cut them all up and freeze them. They are really handy for cooking. So I thought that was an absolute bargain for £1. I mean, especially as the weight is 750 grams. So that is £1.89 in Morrison's. Let's quickly do the book. Right, let's quickly look at the book. I've put the £7.99 for the fish there that I bought on the 20th. I spent £3.60 in Marks and Spencer's. I paid 60p in cash because I didn't realise I'd gone to a cash machine at the time, and I didn't want to put 60p on my card. So I used 60p out of my spending money rather than faff around. And the same with the 79p for the Lidl, because the £7.99, it all came out of cash. £7.99 is at the back of my book. Let's move them across, out of my spending money. So I borrowed a little bit more out of my spending money and paid the whole bill. And Morrison's too, which was my denture stuff and my peppers, £1.89 is cash. I had 17p that I brought forward left in cash. So all the cash comes to £22.90 so far. I got £20 out, so I borrowed £2.90, well, £2.73 actually out of my spending money. I'll probably make that up by adding £2.27p to make it up to the £5. I'll put that in my food money. So the total so far I've spent this month is £54.14p, but I do have £26.99p left on my card to spend. Thank you for watching. I'll be back soon.